How are you guys doing? It's Mr. Rhines' Math in the Woods. And so we're here today to do a little bit of review with our subtraction of integers. It's something that Mrs. Willert and I have been working on a lot with you guys, and so we're going to share that between our two classes today and see if we can get you up to par before we head into multiplying and dividing of those integers heading into next week. So hey, let's review a little bit. I'm going to throw this over here, unpack my backpack, and holy cow, hey, look at this. Right down here in the middle of this pine grove, a whiteboard. Who knew? This is like the sacred grove. Have you ever read Bridge to Terabithia? They talk about the sacred grove. They kind of relate it to some of the forests and whatnot, and Narnia from Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Those are novels that if you haven't read them yet, you need to. It's good summer reading for you. So we'll get started with this whiteboard as soon as I get my equipment set up, and we'll get rocking. Okay, I have 5 problems we're going to review through today, and each one of them is a little bit different. This one, as our subtraction problem, starts with a negative number, and you're going to subtract a 3. We said you can rewrite that. If we go with the whole subtraction is a lie thing, you can say that this is also, aka also known as, minus 8 plus a negative 3. Okay, if you want to think of that. Listen, we've been saying this for ever since we were doing addition like 3 or 4 weeks ago. If they have the same sign, it's going to be the same sign. So if we think of a number line, and if this is 0 and right here is a negative 8, then if we're going to subtract a negative 3, or we're going to add a negative 3 onto that, anything that's negative, you're working to the left. And so from that negative 8, 1, 2, 3, that's going to bring you to a negative 11. Same sign, same sign. Same sign in the first part of the problem, we'll have the same sign in the answer. Subtracting 3 is the same as adding a negative 3, whatever. It's a negative 8 and negative 3, which will make a negative 11. It works that way every time. I don't care what the digits are. Fill in any old digit you want. That's the way it's going to happen. All right, let's look at example number 2. Negative 4 minus a negative 5. What does that equal? Well, here you need to first of all realize this is a double negative. Hey, wait a minute. That problem you just looked at a second ago, Mr. Rhines, that negative 8 minus a 3, wasn't that a double negative? No, it was not. These are separated. This is a negative 8 here, this is a negative 8 here, and there is a number that separates this particular negative sign and this particular negative sign. And when a number separates those two, this is not a double negative. A double negative is where they are right next to each other. Double negatives make a positive. Are you positive, Mr. Rhines? Oh, I'm positive. 2 negatives make a positive. So this becomes positive right here, and then you're left with 5 here and a negative 4 here. So it's negative 4 plus a 5. All right, let's look at that on a number line. If this is 0 and here is a negative 4, can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Negative 4 and a 0. Now we're going to add 5. When you have a positive 5 or adding a 5, you're moving to the right. So that means you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be a positive 1. Are you sure it's positive, Mr. Rhines? Oh, I am, because once we rewrote this, which is farther from 0? Here's the absolute value way of solving it. What's farther from 0, a 5 or a 4? 5 is. Is it positive? Yep, it's positive. So my answer will be positive. And then you just have to find the difference. Why the difference? Because there's different signs. This was a negative, that was a positive. The double negative became a positive. And so when there's different signs, you subtract. Subtract the 5 and the 4, and you end up with a 1, a positive 1. That was example number 2. Here comes example number 3. Oh yeah, we're rocking it. 12 minus 4. A couple of you got this type of a problem wrong when you did work on Tuesday. And think about this. Even if you don't understand all the signs and that's still trying to get through to you after all of these weeks, you still know what 12 minus 4 is. Just think about it for a second. Be a problem solver. 12 minus 4, you could do this back in second grade probably. You know the answer is going to be 8. Oh yeah. Mrs. Willert and I have been trying to preach that upside down, backwards, forwards for weeks for you right now. Now, you can think of this as 12 plus a negative 4, since subtraction's a lie, and think of it as addition problem, but still, any way you look at it, you're starting off with a 12, which here's 0, here's 12, and then your negative 4 is going to bring it back to the left. Negatives go to the left. Negatives are on this side of the number line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, there's an 8. Positive 8. How do you know it's positive? Because we started at a positive 12 and we only took 4 away, so we're still on the positive side of the 0 in the number line. Not only that, but 12 is a positive, 4 is a negative. Which is farther from 0? 12. 12 is farther from 0. 12 is a positive, so my answer will be positive. But you didn't put a positive sign there, Mr. Rhines. I didn't need to. A positive is just assumed to be positive. The only time we really write the sign is when it's negative, when it's in the answer like that. All right? Number 4. Just 2 more. Number 4, stick with me. Negative 8 minus a negative 12. Okay. What do we see here? Think. There's a whole bunch of negative signs. These right here are double negatives. It's subtracting a negative 12, which is the same as adding. The double negatives become an addition. So if we rewrite this, it's a negative 8 plus a 12. If we did this in the, because some of you, and this time I'm not going to use a number line, I'm going to actually use the colored tiles. There's positive 12. Positives were green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's 8 negatives. I'll use the red for those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it's just a matter of taking one for the other. This one, whoop, takes that one. Whoop. This one, whoop, takes that one. Whoop. This one, whoop, this one. This one, this one. This one, 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 this one. What does it leave? 4 greens. What were the greens? Positive. Do I need to write that sign? Not necessarily. If you want to, you can say a positive 4, but you don't have to. It's just assumed to be a positive 4. Absolute value way says which one is farther from 0, the positive 12 or the negative 8? Positive 12. So the answer will be positive. And then since there's different signs, a negative and a positive, then you find the difference, and difference means to subtract. So 12 minus 8 was 4. Ta-da! Last example. Last example, and Mr. Rhines is going to go home and call it a day for at least an hour or so that I can get the lawn mowed, and then we'll get tomorrow's lesson set up. All right, last problem. 6 minus negative 12. What do you notice? This one's positive because there's no sign in front of it. And we're going to subtract the negative 12. But these two signs are next to each other. And when they are next to each other, 2 negatives make a, that's right, I can hear you saying it at home, a positive. So then we just bring these down. A 6 plus a 12. That would be 6 green tiles and 12 green tiles. Both of them would be green because they're both positive. And 12 and 6 will be 18. Right? So if you pay attention to any of these videos we're given to you, that we're making for you, that we are bleeding and sweating and working so hard to make for you, between those Zoom meetings that we have for you, Go Guardian questions that we have for you, you can figure this out. We just need a little more effort. 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks, to give it everything you got and finish it off. Believe me, it's just as hard for us as it is for you. We've been putting in some long days for you because we want it to work. Make sure that you're doing the work. And if you're not understanding it, to ask the good questions after you've put in some good time, a good amount of quality work time. Tried it. Okay? All right, hey, here we are in the Sacred Grove. Mr. Rhines' math in the woods for Mr. Rhines' and Mrs. Willard's 6th grade math class. You guys are going to rock it. So until then, what do we say? Peace out. We love you guys, and we'll see you along the way.